Good morning, friends. Let us do one more problem. Here, 10 persons are living in five-story building. Right, the problem is about 10 people living in five-floor building. Ground floor is first. Ground one, two, three, four, five. Right. Starting ground starting from 1. Right. And flat 1 of floor 2 is immediately above flat 1 of floor 1. Right. So the structure is something like this. Structure is okay. Let me draw. Okay. So the structure is something like this. Floor one, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There are two flats in each floor. Flat, flat. We don't know which is what flat. One is flat, one is this, or flat one is this, flat two is this, or flat two is this. We don't know. Right. But he's saying flat one, if this is flat one, then second, this everything will be flat one because flat one of floor two will be above flat one of floor one, and flat 1 of floor 3 will be above flat 1 of floor 2. Right. So here, flat 1 of floor 2 is immediately above flat 1 of floor 1. So if this is flat 1, then the flat 1 floor 2 will be immediately above flat 1 floor 1. Right. And immediately below flat 1 of floor 3. So this will all will be flat 1s. And this all will be flat 2s. Right. But we don't know if this is flat 1 or this is flat 1. Doesn't matter. Let's go ahead. B lives on second floor, floor 2, and E lives to the west of B. Right. B is living on second floor. That means either here or here. And E is left to the west of B. That means B has to be this. B has to be this and E has to be this. Right. Because E has to be west of B with the third condition. We started with third condition. We finished third condition and we figured out E and B. Then fourth condition. There is a two floor gap between B and G. Two floor gap, two floor gap. That means B and G there are two floors. Right. So obviously G cannot be below B. G, the only option is two floor gap. This is the only option. Right. G has to be in fifth floor. G has to be in fifth floor. But this side or this side we don't know. Right. We are using condition number 4. G does not live in the same flat as H. Right. Now condition number 4 is done. 5. I lives to the east of H. H is somewhere here. I will be here. Right. And G does not live in the same flat number as H. That means G will not live anywhere in this line, in the H line. So H is anyway towards the west of I. That means G has to live in I's line, right? I's line, right? That means on this side of the flats, on the east side of the flats. Let's assume this is west one, west side of the flats. Let's assume these are the east side of the flats. G has to be on the east side of the flats because he's saying G does not live in the same flat number as H. Right? Flat number of the H, even if it is 1, then this all side will be 1s. If this is 2, these all sides will be 2. So what does that mean? G is sitting on the right side, on the east side. Right? That means G has to be above B on floor number 5. This is G. Right? I will erase this one. Okay. Then what? Which one we had used the condition number 6 also to find out where is G. 4, 5, and 6. Use these conditions to derive where is G. First condition, 3 condition we have derived E and B. Okay, next 6 conditions are done. There is two floor gap between D and F. Very good. D and F there is a two floor gap. Right. Now A lives to the west of D. A lives to the west of D. This is D. This is A. But A does not live on ground floor. That means D is also not living on ground floor. Right. D is also not living on ground floor. And but there is a two floor gap between D and F. Right. A and D is not living on ground floor. And there must be some F which is two floors away from D. Right, which is what the seven number condition 7 and 8 we are taking them together. Right, A is living on the west of D and A is not on ground floor. So that means AD cannot be here. AD can be here. Taking condition number 8. AD can be here. It cannot be here because G is already taken. Right. AD can be here. AD can be here. Now what is saying? There is two floor gap between D and F. Let's say if AD is here. Okay, is that possible two floor gap? If D is here, then two floor gap is not possible. Right. Let's say if this is D, then 1, 2. There is two floor gap is not possible this side or also this side. Only if D is here, D is in floor number 4, then only the two floor gap is possible. Right. So D has to be here just to maintain two floor gap. If D is here, then only two floor gap can be possible, and here it will become F, and this will be A. Right. So this is what we are saying. We are taking conditions which and which 7 and 8. 7 and 8. With 7 and 8 conditions we have derived where is A, where is D, and where is F. Right. So because there has to be two floor gap. Two floor gap means A and D cannot sit in third floor. If they sit in third floor, two floor gap with F is not possible. There is no space for F. Right. So A and D have to sit in fourth fourth floor only. Right. Because A also lives to the west of D. So that means there are not many options. Fifth floor is not an option because G has already taken. Right. So third floor is not an option because two floors below this is not possible. There should be gap of two floors between D and F. Right. Now, I lives to the east of H. We have discussed this by earlier, right? Let's take that condition again. I lives to the east of H. Now, where are the slots available for I? G, fifth floor. I, there is no slot available. Fourth floor also, there is no slot available. Second also no slot available. First also no slot available. We want a slot for right side. Right side, each side flat for I. Right, it is not possible. So, I and H have to sit in third floor only. I is on the east of H. That means I is an east flat. East flat, right? So east flat, only one slot is available, that is floor number 3. So naturally H becomes this. J lives above C. So that means naturally this becomes C. That becomes J. This is condition number 9. Condition number 9 will derive J and C. So if you see condition number 10 we did not even use. Right. SBI PO prelims, the condition is given. We actually don't need this condition number 10. Which all conditions we have used? We have used the first two conditions, which is the given statement only, the structure of the building, and then third, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 conditions we have used. 10th condition we did not even use. This is actually not even needed. It is given extra, but it is not even needed for solving this problem. Right? You understood, right? First, what we have done, we have taken the third condition. The third condition is B is living on floor 2 and he is living to the west of B. That's how we have derived this one. That's how we have derived this one. Right. Then what we have done, we have taken 4, 5, 6, the two floor gap between B and G. That means G has to be here only, in this floor only. And at the same time, G has to be in fifth floor. Then 5 and 6, I lives to the east of H, G is not above H. So G has to be above I. G has to be on the east side, so we have fixed this as G. Right, with this 4, 5, 6 conditions, we have taken G. Now 7 and 8 conditions, there is two floor gap between D and F. A lives to the west of D and does not live on ground floor. So A and D, they do not live on ground floor. And at the same time, there should be scope of two floors gap between D and F. So third floor D is not possible because if D is here, there is no scope for two floor gap. Right, because the building is of 5 floors only. If there were 6 floors, then that gap would have been possible, but building is of 5 floors. So it has to be fourth floor. D has to be on fourth floor, and D has to be the right side building. So we figured out A and D. At the same time, I lives to the east of H. There is no other slot because F is already taken. F is 2 floors away from D, right? So F is also taken. B was also taken. D was also taken. G was also taken. So, and H and I, only one slot left. So H and I we had figured out. Right. So, and only two slots J and C were left. We had finally used the condition number 9 to figure out J and C. So, we created the solution CEHAJ FBIDG. Right. This is the structure. Now, let's get into the questions. The questions should become very straightforward. Okay. Who among the following lives on flat 1 of floor 3? Which among the following lives on flat 1 of floor 3? Right. So in this problem, flat one is the left one or the right one that they did not give. Right. Because there is no such information. For now, we can assume that because we follow English, we write English from left to right. So flat one is on the left and flat two is on the right. We'll make that assumption and go ahead. Right. Ideally, that information should be given. Flat one is on the left or right. But in this case, it is not given. Let's assume and go ahead. Right. Flat 1 of floor 3. Then what would that be? Flat 1, let's say if this is flat 1 of floor 3, it is H. Right. It is H. Which among the live live to the east of C. East of C is F. Right? East of C is F. How many floor gaps? How many floors gap is there between J and E? J and D. Two floor gaps, right? AH is there. Two. Next one. I lives on which of the following floor? I is living where? I is living on third floor. I is living on third floor. Who among the following lives to the west of G? West of G is J, right? West of G is J. Right. See, this one is very easy problem. There's not much to do. Just that in one of the cases, three conditions we have to take them together, and in another case, two conditions we have to take them together. Otherwise, this is an easy problem. It doesn't take much time here. So these kind of problems we can easily address. Right. This is an SBI PO prelims problem. Please keep practicing more problems like this, then you will become much faster in solving these problems. Right. Cool, guys. Thank you. All the best.